Howdy.
Howdy!
Okay. It was my job. We were talking last night about how great our seniors are, because if it wasn't for them, none of us would be together. So, JMO, like you were there at the meetings, but we took care of you. And no, you got to write your songs, so it was all good. But I wanted to share with you guys kind of like JMO's story of how she got on starting Destino. She was a freshman in Texas A&M, apparently, and she had two things going for her. One, she was a Christian. Two, she was a Latin woman, Hispanic, whatever you title yourself. And there's something that I've seen from JMO is that you can't stop those two things from doing great things. JMO talked about how she wanted to do something big and something that involved Hispanic students, and at the same time involved Christ. And first semester she was here, she talked about how she didn't really have, she jumped Bible studies, and she didn't really find what she fit into. And then towards the end of the semester, they came up to her and said, "Hey, come help us start a Bible study for Hispanic students." And she's like, "Hey, okay, I'll pray on it." and so she went home and prayed, and she came back and she found out that she wasn't going to help start a Hispanic Bible study. She was going to start it and build it from the ground up into what it is now. And she talked about how at the beginning it was a struggle because there's only maybe like the first row of you guys who actually showed up, and she didn't know what to do. Freshmen, all right, how many freshmen are in here? See, we kind of outnumber all upperclassmen, and we kind of like take pride in that sometimes. Like, oh, we're the bigger group, we can walk all over these upperclassmen. But like JMO, she was by herself as a freshman. To be able to start her own organization that was for Christ and was for a minority group on campus, Hispanics, and to bring those people together was just tremendous. And she talked about how in her first year she told Mel, like, "Hey, you're gonna do this, no questions asked, like, bam, done." And the first 2 years they had Destino, they were kind of struggling a little because they didn't really see a growth. And she talked about how really the first 2 years of Destino was just making the name for Destino, so that when she walked off on campus and they're like, "Hey, what organizations are you in?" And she's like, "Hey, I'm in Destino." They're like, "I know about Destino." Thanks to JMO. And now it's our job when we send away our seniors, kick them out. Some of them are coming back next.
Yeah.
But so like we still got them to like kind of lean on, but that's kind of like the very fast version of how Destino got started. But my hopes for the future, and also JMO's, kind of like what this whole thing's going to build up to, is that we see more Hispanics in here, more followers in Christ, people who want to go out and make a change for, the guy who's just sitting upstairs looking down on us smiling, because we're Hispanics and we're cool. But we have to make sure that as we grow, we don't lose what JMO started and what the rest of the seniors started, and that's our family. Everybody in here, you're all probably seen by the person you're closest to, because that's how Hispanics are. We don't like to talk to strangers. But to be able to build that kind of relationship with not only one other person in this room, but with everybody in this room, to know everybody's birthday by heart and not let Facebook have to tell them, and to know when Anthony by just looking at him, you know if he's having a good day or a bad day, and be able to help him out, or to know how Abby is awesome and.
Thank you.
Yeah. But so I challenge you guys, and passing on JMO's challenge, to keep our hearts in the right places. I remember that first and foremost, we're here to walk with God. Second of all, we're here to do it through our voices, and hopefully our Hispanicness will show at the same time. I'm making all kinds of words, guys. And so with that, we're going to kind of take a brief journey through time, and going to commemorate all the seniors individually through their closest person that's to them. And so we're going to start off with Victor and Patricia.
No, I'm here.
Okay, never mind. No, they told me to read on the list. Okay, sorry. We're starting with Hooper, who's student director, and she's going to talk about our first student director.
Aww.